Nomai Harimai, welcome to this week's live. Let me know in the comments below what you're up to this Friday on this very wet, windy day that we've got in Wellington. It's the end of the week, and I don't know about you, but every so often at the end of the week I feel a little bit more tired than normal, and this week is one of those weeks. I'm feeling a little bit tired, but pleased that it's Friday as well. So what's happening? Tomorrow, Saturday, I'm teaching a salary negotiations course at Wellington High. That's now full as part of their community adult education program. And next week we have got the Women in Leadership program happening on Friday, so a week today, just before Labour weekend. That's exciting. And writing the third book, so plugging away at that word count. I set myself a target this week of 20,000 words. I've managed 5,000, not 5 words. So not quite there, but chipping away slowly. Last week was 15,000, so better. But not every week do we hit our targets, but it's always good to have those as an aim. And obviously next week there'll be a new target, a new aim. So chipping away at that. I have set a launch date, and this is a real good tip. You know, when you want to make your goals happen, if you look at the end and go, okay, well, that's when it's going to be done, I can work back then and know my miniature deadlines along the way, those mini deadlines that if you've got a self-imposed deadline, you improve your chances of getting it done, making it happen, keeping the ball rolling. So May 2020 is when my third book will be launched, and I've recently released an article actually just sort of explaining what the book is about, so I'll pop that in the link below this live so that you can have a look. And I'm also doing some research in this space as well, so I want your thoughts. I want to know what title you think looks best. I also want to know what the content means to you and your own experiences. So there's a link in that article to, at the bottom, to a survey, a short survey. It only takes 5 minutes that I'm inviting you to fill out. There is a prize up for grabs as well, and it's quite a good one. So yeah, if you have the time, if it interests you, then please read the article, find out what the book's about, fill out the survey and help contribute to the research and have your opinions in there as well. That would be awesome. But there's a funny thing that's happened this week that I want to talk about off the back of the third book. So for those of you that have been to any of my Imposter Syndrome workshops or talks, you'll often hear me talk about I've never set foot in a university. So when I was in the corporate world and I was gaining promotions and getting leadership roles, earning more than I ever thought possible, in the back of my mind there was always this feeling, this imposter feeling, you don't even have a degree. Are you worth as much as everybody around you? Do you deserve to be sat at this table? That was the imposter voice that played in my head. Well, this week I set foot in a university. This week I went back to school. But here's the thing, and here's the link with imposter syndrome again. You may have heard me talk about the competencies or the categories that exist within imposter syndrome if you've been to one of my talks. One of those categories is the expert competency. And this is around people that never have enough knowledge. So you might have a friend who's got a couple of degrees, maybe even a PhD, and they'll be saying, oh, you know, I'm going to go for this new job or this promotion. I probably need to retrain. I probably need to do another course. And you're like, but you've got 2 degrees and a PhD. How could you possibly need to do any more academic training? And there's this thirst for knowledge with with an expert inside of imposter syndrome that we need to have all the answers, and we're not comfortable not knowing, and more is always better. So here it is. I started a course at Vic Uni, just an evening course this week in, wait for it, writing. And I know you'll be like, Jess, you've written 3 books, you're on your 3rd book, how could you possibly need to go on a course about writing? But it's a little different. This is about creative writing. So yes, I've written a lot of non-fiction, but I've always had within me this desire to write a novel. And so creative writing is a very different art, a very different craft. So this is not the first course I've been on though this week. And one of the things I realised in my thirst for, I need to know more, I need to teach myself more, is 2 things. Here's what I learned. So the first thing is, I don't actually need to go on another course. I just need to start doing it and practice and do it more. That was the first learning. And the second learning is that you can never have enough knowledge. You can never know everything. So a lot of the time it's around our own insecurities. We feel comfortable when we've got additional knowledge or certificates or proof that we are as good as people think we are. Also, it's a great way of procrastinating. If I say to myself, I can't write that novel yet because I need to do some more training, I put it off and I can keep doing that. So some learnings for me and some reflections having gone back to university or set foot in a university this week for the first time, to learn more about writing, to learn a different art form of writing. It is a great way for me to procrastinate over my next step, my next book, writing something different, learning a different art of writing and putting a novel together. But also it is part of my imposter syndrome around needing more education, more qualifications, more safety nets to prove that I am as good as people think. And that's common with imposter syndrome. It might be something that resonates with you, but it's certainly something that I've been reflecting on this week. And I thought I'd share that with you on this Friday. So I'm going to take a bit of time out this afternoon, working on a Saturday. So if you're coming along to the Career Development and Salary Negotiations course tomorrow at Wellington High, I will see you there. If you're coming along to the Women in Leadership program next week on Friday, I will see you there. If you've not booked your place yet and you're keen, please do, because there are spots left. I'd love to see you there. This is awesome content. It's only available once a year. It's unique. It's nobody else does this stuff. It's something I've created off the back of 15 years in HR and a lot of stuff I've observed in my own career, but also the women that I work with and support. So I'd love to see you there. Get in touch, come along, have a great weekend. Mā te wā.